It is now 12 noon Friday on the Scott Manning YouTube Sports Machine. On this Friday, I am so glad to have you here with me today. The Braves took 3 out of 4 from the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals won't catch a break because they got 4 games set against the Phillies this weekend at Busch Stadium. The Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees renewed their rivalry. The NASCAR Cup Series is in Atlanta this weekend, and there are 5 drivers who badly need a win. Baker Mayfield is now with the Carolina Panthers. What will his future hold there? And the Cleveland Browns just screwed themselves over big time. The Big 12 could possibly have 18 teams in the very near future. And the Baylor Bears may have just gotten a big break with the Big 12 before it really expands. And for my closing thoughts, the Las Vegas Raiders have hired the first ever black woman team president. I will have all of that today, and we will start the show right after this. All right. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the show, and a beautiful Friday afternoon, everybody. I am so thrilled to have you with us. The Atlanta Braves took 3 out of 4 from the St. Louis Cardinals. How in the world did the Cardinals manage to flop? Or should I say, how in the world did the Braves manage to pull this one off? Well, let's see. Dansby Swanson. This guy's hitting .298. He's an almost 300 hitter. He was 4 for 17 in the series with 2 runs. He did have 2 doubles in the series, but he did have walk and he struck out 4 times. Excuse me. Michael Harris II. He's hitting .290. However, he was not much to brag about in this 4-game set. He was 2 for 14 with 3 runs, a home run, 1 RBI, and he did strike out twice. Austin Riley, the player of the series. He was 7 of 15, 2 runs. He had 2 doubles, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, a walk, and he struck out 3 times. And Ronald Acuna Jr., a little bit of a lackluster. He was 2 for 17 with 3 runs, an RBI, a walk, and he did strike out 3 times. Unfortunately. But as far as the St. Louis Cardinals go, what happened? Well, Paul Goldschmidt, he's hitting .342 right now. He was 5 for 14 in this 3-game set with a run, and he did have 2 doubles in the series, 3 walks. But here's a big caveat: 6 strikeouts in this series. Nolan Arenado, he was 5 for 15 in this 4-game set, 3 walks, and he struck out twice, and he did have a run. He wasn't much to brag about either. Brendan Donovan, this guy's hitting .291. He struck out 5 times. And Juan Yepez, he was 4 for 16 with a run, a home run, 2 RBIs, 1 walk, and he only struck out 3 times. I took Tommy Edman out because Tommy Edman's batting average has dropped to .261. And Edman had some struggles of his own in this 4-game set. The Braves outscored the Cardinals by a grand total of 18-7 in this 4-game set. And if you want pitching performances, I've got 2 of them for you. The first, this was a Wednesday. The Wednesday performance goes to Max Fried. He pitched 6 solid innings, gave up 5 hits, walked 1, and he struck out 4. This guy has a 9-2 record with a 2.52 ERA. How impressive. But the Thursday performance, despite the loss, I've got to give some love to Spencer Strider. Unfortunately, a no decision, but I got to do this. He pitched 6 solid innings, only gave up 2 hits, walked 2, struck out 12. He's got a 2.60 ERA. This 4-game set is over between the Cardinals and the Braves. But the Cardinals are still facing another team out of the National League East. They're facing the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies are 23-10 since the start of June. They're only 8 games back of the Mets and the Braves in the National League East. And despite the fact, I remember, and I have not forgotten what happened the last time these two teams faced off in Philadelphia. The Phillies took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals, despite no Bryce Harper. I haven't forgot about that. Now, the Cardinals and the Phillies have a 4-game set. Yes, their fourth game of this set will be on Monday. But I have the pitching matchups announced, and we're going to go ahead and go right into them. The Philadelphia Phillies on for tonight will be sending Zach Wheeler to the mound. He has a 7-4 record with a 2.66 ERA and 99 strikeouts to his credit. As an Agent 99, I shouldn't do that, but I just want to have fun. And the Cardinals tonight will be sending Adam Wainwright to the mound. He has a 6-6 record with a 3.26 ERA, 81 strikeouts to his credit. Now, that's going to be an interesting matchup. I always keep that one in the back of my head. The Saturday matchup. The Phillies will be sending Kyle Gibson to the mound. He has a 4-3 record with a 4.91 ERA and 70 strikeouts to his credit. And the St. Louis Cardinals will be sending Dakota Hudson to the mound. He has a 6-5 record with a 4.29 ERA and 46 strikeouts to his credit. That could be a home run derby. Now for the Sunday matchup. The Philadelphia Phillies will be sending a rookie to the mound. Christopher Sanchez is going to make his first career start. He has a 3.48 ERA and 17 strikeouts to his credit. This is an interesting decision that the Phillies are making for Sunday. And the St. Louis Cardinals will be sending Andre Palinelli. He has a 2-4 record with a 3.03 ERA and 38 strikeouts to his credit. Excuse me. Now, the Monday matchup, the Monday main event. The Philadelphia Phillies will be sending Aaron Nola to the mound. Okay, he may have a 5-6 record, but he does have a 3.15 ERA and 120 strikeouts to his credit. The St. Louis Cardinals will be sending Miles Mikolas to the mound. He has a 5-7 record with a 2.72 ERA and 83 strikeouts to his credit. This is going to be an interesting weekend. We got a 4-game set between the Cardinals and the Phillies. Can the Cardinals do better at home? We'll have to wait and see. But after what the Braves did, the Cardinals find themselves 2.5 games back of the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Central. And all of a sudden now, you can't say without it beyond a shadow of a doubt as we get halfway into the season, we get closer to the All-Star break. Despite the fact the Phillies are minus Bryce Harper, they could still catch the Braves and the Mets in the National League East. Because let's think about this. Alec Bohm, he's become the spark plug. He's hitting 265. Rhys Hoskins, he's hitting 252. He could be another possible spark plug. And Nick Castellanos, he's hitting 251. These 3 guys did a lot of damage the last time these 2 teams faced off, but that was back in Philadelphia. But everybody knows what the Cardinals have. They got Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, and Brendan Donovan. Goldschmidt, 342. Arenado, 292. Brendan Donovan, 291. This 4-game set is going to be an interesting one because you got 2 teams fighting fighting to get into the playoffs. And I know we're just halfway through the season, but the All-Star break is upon us. It's just about almost a week and a half, 2 weeks away. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's July, and things are heating up fast. Now, the other series I want to talk about. The New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. Now, I know it's the Yankees. I know the Red Sox are 14 games back out of the AL East. But here's the deal. Go back to 1978. The Yankees were down 14 at the All-Star break. The Red Sox were playing 750 baseball. The Yankees picked up more games. They came back and took the AL East. Can the Red Sox do it to them? We'll have to wait and see. But last night, the Yankees beat the Red Sox 6-5. Garrett Cole last night, oh boy. He pitched 6 solid innings, gave up 5 earned runs, 2 home runs, struck out 7, and he walked 3. He has an 8-2 record with a 3.26 ERA. Oh boy. Here is tonight's matchup that everybody's going to have everybody talking. Nestor Cortez will be going to the mound tonight for the Yankees. He has a 7-3 record with a 2.44 ERA and 91 strikeouts to his credit. And the Boston Red Sox will be sending Connor Seabold to the mound. He has an 0-1 record with an 8.31 ERA and 11 strikeouts. That's your matchup for tonight. Just to let you know. The Saturday matchup, only one name has been released, and that's from the New York Yankees. Jordan Montgomery is going to be going for the Yankees on Saturday. He has a 3-2 record with a 3.19 ERA and 72 strikeouts to his credit. And the Boston Red Sox, they're going to keep it a mystery. You'll have to wait until game time. But now, here's the big one. The Sunday main event, the Sunday night matinee. The New York Yankees will be sending Jameson Taillon to the mound. He has a 9-2 record with a 3.63 ERA and 74 strikeouts to his credit. And the Boston Red Sox will be sending Nick Pivetta to the mound. He has an 8-6 record with a 3.68 ERA and 95 strikeouts to his credit. Those are the pitching matchups, or should I say the 2.5 pitching matchups. No pun intended. Now, last night, Aaron Judge did not play in the opener because he was because of injury. Will he be available tonight? We don't know. But just in case he's not, the Yankees have backup. DJ LeMahieu, he's hitting 272. Gleyber Torres, he's hitting 264. Now, Aaron Judge is hitting 287. He's a spark plug. But he does have backup in LeMahieu and Torres. Keep that in mind. And last night, the Yankees won thanks to a grand slam courtesy of one Josh Donaldson. So we need to get him some love. But what about on the other side of the ball in the Boston Red Sox? You got Rafael Devers. He's hitting 330 right now, despite the fact the Red Sox are struggling and they're 14 games out. Trevor Story, he's hitting a respectable 255. So there's nothing to hang their heads about there. Last night, the Yankees won 6-5. Garrett Cole, oh boy, he had a bad night. But he still got the win. But it was an ugly win at that. This game will be the Yankees Red Sox will be facing off tonight at 7 o'clock on the MLB Network. May the best team win. And that's all I have to say about that. Okay. It's time to move on. But before I do, one little quick swing. Here we go. Now, the NASCAR Cup Series is in Atlanta this weekend. Last weekend at Road America, Tyler Reddick scored his first career Cup win. And now, all of a sudden, the chase for the final 3 spots in the battle for the Cup have really tightened. With Tyler Reddick's win, that narrows the field. There are 5 drivers who are in desperate need of a win just to get in. Ryan Blaney, he's 14th in the point standings. He needs a win badly. And a win in Atlanta could really, really go a long way. Martin Truex Jr., a former series champion. He needs a win badly, and a win in Atlanta would really be a help. Christopher Bell, another guy, another driver who's in a desperate need of a win. Last year, he won on the Daytona road course. Can he win in Atlanta on the Oval? We'll have to wait and see on that. And now you got 17th and 18th. Kevin Harvick and Eric Almirola. Those two are in the most positions. They're going to desperately need a win. And that's just all there is to it. The Cup Series is in Atlanta. We'll wait and see what happens. But the truth of the matter is, we're going to have a great weekend. And the bottom line is, with a race on the fastest mile and a half on all the series, this is going to be a fun weekend in Atlanta. I wish I could be there, but I can't. So I'll be watching from the comfort of my own living room. This race will be at 3 o'clock on the USA Network. Get ready. 500 miles in Atlanta, you're going to be in for a battle. All right. It is time to move on. I want to talk about a couple other things today. Baker Mayfield is now a Carolina Panther. Mayfield was traded to the Panthers for a conditional draft pick. The Cleveland Browns screwed themselves big time, and I'll get to that in a minute. The Panthers will only have to pay $4.85 million of Mayfield's salary. The Cleveland Browns, they're still on the hook for $10.5 million with Baker Mayfield. How crazy, how stupid is the Browns ownership? Baker Mayfield took you guys to the playoffs, and now you want to trade him away? And for who? An idiot by the name of Deshaun Watson. The Browns really screwed up. And I know my sister's here, and I'm not going to try to yell and scream about it. But she was even fuming over the whole thing. And I'm not lying. The Browns trade for Deshaun Watson. Since March 26th of last year, 25 lawsuits have been filed against him alleging sexual assault and other inappropriate behaviors during the massage sessions. Of those 25 suits, one was dropped by the plaintiff. 20 of those have been settled out of court. Four still remain and will be tried after the 2022 season. The NFL is still pushing for a 1-year suspension of Deshaun Watson. The Browns did it again. They did it to Bernie Kosar. They did it to Baker Mayfield. You know what? I hope Baker Mayfield I hope he does great with Carolina. I really do. And I'm not trying to sound like a jerk. I really hope Baker Mayfield does great in Carolina to show them that the Browns really messed up. The Browns play the Panthers in the opener in the first week of the season. And who will our quarterback be? We don't know. It's somebody I've never heard of. They go for Deshaun Watson. Now he's facing a 1-year suspension. Good job, Browns ownership. You did it again. My sister was fuming about this whole thing. Some of my buddies were fuming about this whole thing. And some of my own family members, outside of my immediate family, they were fuming about this whole thing. And everybody in the city of Cleveland, they are going to be screaming at Browns ownership. I've seen some of the profane tirades that went on in Cleveland right after this. This whole thing is disgusting. Deshaun Watson would do better with the Las Vegas Raiders because they're full of troublemakers. And that's a fact. I'm trying to be fair and impartial, but I just can't. The Browns did it to themselves. Again. And they're not even going to be apologetic about it. Great job, Browns ownership. This is why we are never in the Super Bowl. That's why we're never in the Super Bowl, because of decisions you idiots make in the front office. I blame the front office for this one. I don't blame Baker Mayfield at all. It was the front office. They're the ones responsible for this one this time. The Cleveland Browns screwed themselves big time. And I just laid it all out for you, and I just told you why. I'm not going to go any further on this because I'm just disgusted with Browns ownership. And that's all I have to say. All right. Let's move on to other things. There's been a report out by 24/7 Sports that the Big 12 Conference is pursuing 5 Pac-12 teams. Actually, I think it's either 5 or 6 Pac-12 teams. And they are Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, Oregon, Colorado, and Washington. Colorado may be going somewhere else. We don't know that for sure. But let's think about this whole thing started with Texas and Oklahoma leaving the Big 12 to go to the SEC. But if this becomes reality, think about this for a minute. The 18 teams that will be in the Big 12, they may have to rename the conference. 18 teams? This is going to be interesting. If this becomes reality, think about this. Oklahoma State, they're good in basketball, but not great. They got a better football program with Mike Gundy. And he's not going to be saying, come after me, I'm a man, I'm 40. He's going to be saying, come after me, I'm a man, I'm about 75 to 80. Sorry, Coach Gundy, I had to do that. Baylor, the Baylor Bears, and they got some good news today. They got a really excellent football program nowadays. Last year they went to the Sugar Bowl, and I'll get to that in a second. Number 3, Iowa State. The Iowa State Cyclones. They could compete for the Big 12 title. Look out for them in the fall. Kansas, one of the greatest basketball programs of all time with Bill Self. I think that's great. West Virginia, almost 7 West Virginia. They're mediocre in football, but they're kind of in basketball. The TCU Horned Frogs. I think once in a while my sister likes to be a Horned Frog. I just had to do that. I love that reaction. Sorry, sis. Number 7, Kansas State. They struggle in basketball. They're trying to work out their struggles in football. Texas Tech, one of the best. Chris Beard in the basketball program, one of the best. And they're still got some kinks to work out in football. BYU, the Cougars of BYU. Wow. Let's see how some of these Big 12 teams do out in the mountains at that time of the year. The Cincinnati Bearcats. Luke Fickell, are you sure you want to jump to the Big 12 and face teams like Oklahoma State, Baylor, Iowa State, and West Virginia? You may be regretting that before this is over. UCF. Think about this. UCF, Central Florida, they took in the American Athletic Conference crown they got like 2 years in a row. They have some struggles in basketball. The Houston Cougars, Kelvin Sampson and their basketball program, they've really turned it around. And they're trying to make the football program look much better. The Ducks of Oregon. All of a sudden, Lincoln Riley took the coaching job in Oregon. He left USC. How disappointing. The Utes of Utah. I got one thing to say. I got one thing to say to the Big 12 if this comes to pass. Please bring back the Holy War. The Washington Huskies. The Huskies can jump out and take the Pac-12 away, and they can do it with defense. The Colorado Buffaloes, Colorado, it just makes me want to sing Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, and drink some Coors Light. The Arizona Wildcats, they can jump out at you. They can surprise anybody. The Arizona State Sun Devils to close it out. Arizona State, back in 96, they had a great season in football. Took Ohio State to the limit in the Rose Bowl, but the Buckeyes cost them the national title with a 20-17 victory over the Sun Devils and Bruce Snyder. So if this whole thing comes to pass, like which might happen, the Big 12 is going to have 18 teams. You want to talk about making up for losing Texas and Oklahoma? You got Oregon. That's all you need to know. But you have Washington, Utah. But for the Big 12 conference, I got one request. BYU and Utah, please bring back the Holy War if this comes to pass. That's what we need to see. So the realignments in college football are still continuing like crazy. Also, too, the Baylor Bears did receive some good news. Baylor has been picked to win the Big 12 championship this fall. They are the preseason favorites to win the Big 12 title. But Oklahoma has won it 6 straight years in a row from 2015 to 2020. Baylor took it last year and grew to a 12-2 record, and they beat Oklahoma State. And they also were rewarded with a 21-7 victory in the Sugar Bowl against Ole Miss last year. They know how to get it done. Baylor knows how to do it. They've really improved. I'm looking forward to seeing the Baylor Bears this fall. And along with the Big 12, the Big 10, and the Pac-12 here in a couple of years, it's going bye-bye. I'm not trying to sound cold-hearted to the fans out on the West Coast, but the damage is done, as far as I'm concerned. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thoughts. The Las Vegas Raiders have hired Sandra Douglas Morgan to be the first black woman to serve as president of the Las Vegas Raiders organization. Raiders owner Mark Davis said Sandra was happy to accept. And Sandra Douglas Morgan herself was already said, I am very excited to get to work. I'm very excited to take the Raiders back to the playoffs, possibly win it all. Well, I do wish her the best of luck. I'm very happy for her. Can the Raiders get back to the playoffs? That remains to be seen. Last year, against the Cincinnati Bengals on Wild Card Weekend, they lost it every which way possible. But what about the Bengals? That's what everybody's been asking me. What about her? What about the Bengals? Can they get back to the Super Bowl and possibly win it all? Well, I look at it like this. As long as they don't have to face the LA Rams, we're in great shape. But in all fairness, the Raiders bringing in the first black woman president of a team like this, a team like the Raiders, Al Davis would be proud. And that's all I have to say on this day. Okay, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here on this Friday afternoon. Please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Scott Manning. All you have to do is type my name, scroll down, look for this pretty face, click subscribe, and you will see all the sports shows I have done so far. I want to thank you guys for being with me here on this Friday afternoon. I'll be back Sunday night with the Scott Manning YouTube Sunday Sports Machine to wrap up the weekend, and I'll give you a special look ahead to the week coming up. And I want to thank you guys so much for being with me You guys have a great day. Have a great weekend, and God bless. Goodbye, everybody, and I thank you.